The ghost of 2002 came for Deschamps. He looked it in the eyes and didn't blink. For 45 minutes in East Rutherford, the ghost of 2002 was alive. Senegal dominated France in the first half. Nicolas Jackson hit the post. Ismaïla Sarr missed an open goal from close range. France had 0 shots on target in the entire first half. 0. The European champions, the tournament favorites, the team Deschamps called the best in the world, could not put a single shot on frame in 45 minutes. If you watched our pre-match analysis, you know what we predicted. We said Deschamps would try to suffocate the game early. High press, quick possession, kill the narrative before it breathes. That was his plan, and for 45 minutes Senegal tore that plan apart. The 2002 ghost walked into MetLife Stadium, sat down, and waited. But here is what happened next, and this is why Didier Deschamps is not Luis de la Fuente. This is why France won 2-0 and Spain drew 0-0. This is the difference between a coach who talks about danger in the press room and a coach who has spent 14 years preparing for exactly this moment. Deschamps changed everything at halftime. The first half was a nightmare. France played with no rhythm, no speed, no purpose. Senegal's midfield controlled the tempo. Pape Matar Sarr and Lamine Camara pressed Tchouaméni into errors. Jackson ran at Upamecano and Saliba with fearless directness. When Jackson's low drive cannoned off the near post, hit Maignan on the heel and went wide, France were minutes away from a crisis that would have echoed across 24 years of history. NBC Sports reported that Deschamps would be furious at halftime. He was, but fury without adjustment is just noise. De La Fuente was furious against Cape Verde too. He changed nothing. Belgium's Garcia was furious against Egypt. He scraped a draw. Deschamps did not scrape. Deschamps transformed. The second half started and France were a different team. The press was higher, the passing was sharper. Desire Doué and Michael Olise began finding pockets of space that did not exist in the first 45 minutes. Olise's low shot forced a save from Edouard Mendy within minutes of the restart. The momentum had shifted, and everyone in MetLife Stadium could feel it. Then came the 61st minute, and the controversy that will be debated for the rest of this tournament. Sadio Mane appeared to foul Mbappe inside the penalty area. The referee Fagani seemed to point to the spot. The stadium held its breath, but after a VAR review, the decision was overturned. Mbappe had initiated the contact, no penalty, a massive let-off for Senegal. A moment that could have changed everything. Mbappe did not complain, he did not argue, he filed it away. 5 minutes later, he delivered his answer on the pitch. 66th minute. Michael Olise plays an exquisite through ball into the right side of the penalty area. Mbappe makes a devastating run, pushes the ball past Mendy and scores. France 1, Senegal 0. And with that goal, Kylian Mbappe becomes France's all-time leading goalscorer, surpassing Thierry Henry. The ghost of 2002 had been silenced by the man wearing the number 10 shirt, the same number Zidane wore in Seoul when everything fell apart. But the cruelest moment of the match belonged to Senegal. 2 minutes after Mbappe's goal, Nicolas Jackson burst into the penalty area and smashed the ball past Maignan into the top corner. MetLife erupted. Senegal had equalized. The 2002 story was alive again. Except it was not. Jackson was offside. The goal was disallowed. The celebrations died. And with them Senegal's hopes of rewriting history. Then Deschamps made the substitution that proved he had read the match perfectly. Bradley Barcola came on in the 79th minute. 2 minutes later he scored. France 2, Senegal 0. Game over. 2 minutes. That is how long it took a substitute to kill the contest. That is not luck. That is preparation. Deschamps had Barcola ready for exactly this moment. Fresh legs against a tiring Senegalese defense. A player with pace to exploit the spaces that Senegal's high press had left behind. Now let us decode what this result means through the lens of the press room. In our pre-match analysis, we said Deschamps was building a psychological wall between 2026 and 2002. He refused to mention the disaster year. He named only the victories, 1998 and 2018. He emphasized squad cohesion. He said he only thinks about today and tomorrow. Every single element of that strategy was tested tonight. The first half was the test. Senegal dominated. The 2002 parallels were screaming. If France had conceded in those opening 45 minutes, the narrative would have consumed them. The media would have written the same headlines. History repeating. Deschamps cursed. The ghost returns. But the wall held. And the reason it held is because Deschamps did not just talk about preparation in the press room. He built it into the squad. The experienced players, Mbappé, Tchouaméni, Dembélé, did not panic when the first half went wrong. The young players, Olise, Doué, Barcola, came alive in the second half without the weight of 2002 on their shoulders. That balance between experience and youth that Deschamps talked about in his press conference was not a slogan, it was a tactical reality. Now compare this to what happened yesterday. 3 favorites played against supposed underdogs. Spain drew 0-0 with Cape Verde. Belgium drew 1-1 with Egypt. Uruguay drew with Saudi Arabia. None of those coaches could adjust. None of those teams could find a second gear. Deschamps found it. In 45 minutes, he went from nightmare to complete control, from 0 shots on target to 2 goals and total dominance. That is 14 years of experience managing pressure at the highest level. That is the difference between a coach who fears the ghost and a coach who has learned to live with it. Senegal proved they belong at this World Cup. Jackson's post, Sarr's miss, Jackson's offside goal, these are margins. On another night, with another referee's call, the 2002 story could have been rewritten. Pape Thiaw's team did exactly what he asked. They competed, they were fearless. They pushed France to the edge, but Deschamps pushed back. And that is the story of this match. The ghost of 2002 came to East Rutherford tonight. For 45 minutes, it haunted France. And then Deschamps looked it in the eyes, adjusted his tactics, unleashed Mbappé, and sent it home. If you are following press room wars through this World Cup, you have now seen the full cycle, the pre-match psychology, the match itself, and the post-match truth. Subscribe for every major match decoded before and after the whistle. Next, Argentina versus Algeria. Scaloni said his players will leave their lives on the pitch. He referenced the Saudi Arabia ghost. After what happened tonight, the defending champions know that press room preparation is not enough. You also need a plan B. And Deschamps just showed the world what a plan B looks like.